Hi everyone, BatStreamer1993 here, back with more more Shining Force. This is part. I'm hoping this is stream 9. I've kind of lost track. I had my last stream on Twitch was different from this one, so I had to redo everything, the whole title and everything. So I'm kind of hoping I get the number right. If it's not 9, it's probably 10. But first thing I'm going to show you guys here is that well, a couple things actually, is that I've managed to get all my characters to level 3. The ones that I have working anyway. And I'm going to flash on screen real quick a couple images. Don't worry, it's not anything weird or anything. So I made a comment last time that once a character gets promoted, their stats increase higher. Now, as far as I can remember, before promotion, I think the highest I've ever gotten on one stat, and this is extremely rare, is 4 points. Now, I'm going to flash on screen real quick 2 images. One is May's hit points. This is from me grinding for it. May's hit points increased by 7, okay? That is high, very high, especially for May, because May usually doesn't have a lot of hit points. Okay, so that just shows that promotion can definitely mess with stats. The second image I have is basically the same thing, but this one, hang on a sec, did I screw something up? No, this is Pell. You can see his HP increased by 7 as well. So you can see that in both images that characters do explosively level up sometimes when they do that. So, like I said, a lot of characters had a good increase in stats. Everyone I have is pretty good. I still have to work on Arthur. Arthur seems to get, he's supposed to get Blaze at, did Arthur get Blaze already? Why look at his, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I'll do it in battle. Anyway, this took me close to an hour to get everyone to level 3, but it wasn't crazy bad. I did mention one time I probably should have done this on my Switch because it has better features, and I was right, by the way, because Switch actually has a fast forward and rewind function, which I could have used. It just helps me get through it better, because like I said, the fast forward in this game is ridiculous. It goes like 200%, and maybe in Shining Force it goes maybe 50%, which is a good increase. Also, a couple of things did happen. In addition to leveling up and everything, there also was a couple of how do I say this? A couple of characters that learned new spells. So, if I'm remembering everything correctly, Lo learned the slow spell and the quick spell. Slow essentially works so it decreases the agility of the character it targets by so many points, and basically when it works, it basically decreases their ability to move along thing. Quick is the exact opposite. It increases agility by a massive amount, making them easier to hit. So, I guess the best way to put this, slow increases agility, or decreases agility, and quick increases it. Agility determines if a character can avoid an attack, how many times they can attack, and a couple other things. So in each instance, they'd be really good in certain situations. However, quick costs like 15 MP, which is a lot. Tao learned Blaze level 3. You can see it now. Basically, that just makes it the attack strong, but can still attack in a checkered pattern. Anri learned Freeze level 2, which essentially, I believe, is like Freeze level 1, except it has higher power, and it can hit people in a star pattern. Those are all the things that my characters really learned in terms of whatever happened while I was in between. So I'm gonna show you guys Blaze level 3 real quick. It cost me 8 MP, but I don't think this battle is really worth it. So we're gonna see when we use it here that the fireballs are bigger and the flame is bigger. And you're gonna see it does 13 points of damage. So that's quite a bit of experience. Quite a bit of damage. So I'm going to show you Max real quick. Max got a good chunk of an increase. So now we're basically we're good. I think he was almost one-shotting these Silver Knights at one point. So let's see how much damage we can do. Yeah, there's 17, so I can one-shot a Silver Knight with Max now. 11 experience points. Low. With the power step, can still deal quite a bit of damage himself. So I'm going to whack this Silver Knight for probably like 10. 8. Alright, that works. We'll gain 5 experience points. I'm going to move the emulator to the one side here. Also, update 2, I was going to do it, but my ADHD mind forgot to do it. I'm going to start posting on the screen what the Discord is. I'd have to find a place to put it. But I'm going to put with the, not Discord, my bad, not Discord, Root for this. And then I'm going to, I think it's all I'm really going to do, and then I'll post the streaming channel on YouTube somewhere. But it would be it'd be hard to do it, but essentially the root app is the same thing every single time, so I don't have to worry about redoing it over and over again. So, Domingo still only has free level 1, but Domingo's HP and MP are now very high for a level 3 anyway. Also, Domingo cannot be promoted. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but Domingo's already technically called a promoted unit. So, and you're also going to see here, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. Can I show this on thing here? I have 18,024 gold. Every time I would defeat a samurai, I would gain 75 gold, so I have a massive amount of gold. The only thing that really slowed me down when I was grinding here is, you got these ladders in this stage, and basically, only so many, I always get put on a ladder, and it also funnels where you can go, so you have to be careful when you're going out certain places. And basically, it's just easier to reset, take out the 2 Silver Knights, reset, and just do that cycle over and over again until I was able to get where I wanted to go. And like I said, it took me an hour, so it wasn't exactly great. But other characters did gain a good increase in stats. I think Gong gained like 7 attack at one point. The one who hasn't really got an explosive stat yet has been Arthur. So, I think Arthur, I don't know, did Arthur learn Blaze? I feel like he did, but no, he did not. So, I don't remember exactly. I have to look it up real quick. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to keep playing. Essentially, Arthur, and characters in this game have a set level where they learn spells. So, even if a character takes forever to get to that level, they'll still learn said spell. So I'm going to look up real quick while this game's playing. I'm going to move up, and I'm going to essentially look up Arthur stats. Shining Force. Because Shining Force has been around for so long, a lot of the stuff in this game has been documented, and a lot of people have studied the code. So a lot of people know like what kind of stats will increase. The whole thing is still random, what you get. But there are certain possibilities. For example, if I look up his stuff, is that he actually learns, so, he only learns Blaze, Freeze, and another one called Bolt. It says he, yeah. Okay, hang on a second, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's not the right one, that is the Resurrected Dark Dragon, so, let me look up Arthur again. See, there was I think I mentioned this several times before, there was a GBA remake called The Legend of Dark Dragon. And basically, it changed a couple of things. Like, for example, if you managed to clear the stage in a certain amount of turns, you'll get certain items that were not available in the original. So there is that. And, basically, if you're trying to grind one character in this game, here's what I recommend, okay? If you're grinding one character, and you've already saved, you've already done everything you need to do. If you level a character and the character does not get a good enough stat increase, for example, let's say I do Arthur, and Arthur gets a level increase but no stat increases, I would reset, and basically get an acceptable level. Arthur really doesn't get a lot of points per shot, per level, but, so, I'm looking up Arthur's stuff now. So, from my understanding, what I'm looking at here is that Arthur would get all these levels at level 15, 20, and 25. So, unless I'm mistaken, Arthur might not get any MP at all, or magic at all. But I'm going to keep looking while this game they're pointlessly hitting my characters for a small amount of damage. They were going after Xylo, though. I'm trying to figure out. I'm looking up Arthur's Shining Force. I'm going to look up when he learns all spells. I'm just trying to figure out because it says 15, 20, and 25. I want to say that means either before or after promotions when he learns those things. They said he could learn Blaze early on, which I don't think level 15 I consider early, but I could be wrong. I'm still trying to figure it out. Maybe that's only a... Oh, damn it. Anyway, I'm still trying to look it up, but we're gonna use Domingo to freeze this knight and put him down. Alright, so I'm gonna guess that Arthur doesn't get any spells now until level 15, which actually makes him... I'll find out eventually, because I'm actually doing another personal playthrough of Shining Force, where I'm gonna promote everyone to level 20, because I want to see if there's a huge enough difference, because I've never done it before. So, if Arthur does indeed not learn... it's really hard to say how I should word this, because... if Arthur needs to be if Arthur promotes before he learns those spells, because something doesn't make sense to me. I think the max level you can get before promotion is level 20. I think after level 20 you can't promote your characters anymore. You can't level them anymore. So it makes me believe that he learns. It's really hard to say. I can't figure this. Something in my head is like, it's like something's not computing right. Okay, let me look up, try something else. Shining. So I want to know this. It's eating away at me. That's why I'm kind of like distracting myself from the game a little bit. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this before, Diane can now attack 3 spaces away, which is crazy good. Okay. From my understanding, what happened to this, so it looks like it in the original, it looks like Arthur learns these spells. At least is what I'm getting from this. At every, for example, he would learn Blaze at level 15, Freeze at level 20. That would not matter if it was promoted or not. But because, if I'm right, it means that if there is no level beyond 20 for a non-promoted character, it means that he will not learn Bolt at all until level 25. I do not know if that means that he gets it really, really late, because obviously by the time I hit level 25, that's going to be very late on. So I'm going to do one more little search. I'm trying to find like an instance here of spells. Okay, I see a photo here of Arthur being a level 13 paladin. Holy shit. And he knows Blaze, Freeze, and Bolt. So I'm going to look up one final thing. I know I said that was going to be the last thing, but now I'm curious. So we're going to look up one more thing. Shining Force. I'll look up a fighting level character, because someone told me a long time ago that Okay. Okay, so from what I'm reading, is that a non-promoted character go up to level 44? No. A non-promoted character go to level 44, and a promoted character go to level 99. So, if I'm getting what that says, it means that Arthur should learn Blaze and all that, either promoted or not, at level 15, 20, and 25. So he's not going to get Bolt till very late. However, if he'll get Blaze at level 10, which means I will at least see that one. Maybe I'll do another playthrough, or you know what? Maybe I'll keep an eye on the game I'm playing, and just like, if I get Arthur that high, I'll just post a screenshot in my Root app of him getting each spell, just to show you guys that maybe I'm overthinking it, you know. So we're gonna move Max up to this spot. Now that I'm back with a mindset in the game, we can keep going. All right, we're gonna deal with this thing here. Pell gets a massive amount of good stats, by the way. Like I said, I never used Pell before, because I get him late, very late game, and I replaced him with Ken. So I did 15 to that, and I gained 20 experience for it. Move me over here. I can take out the Speck of Sight, assuming the attack lands. Also, there is some kind of talk about I think I mentioned this before, but I wasn't 100% sure. I gotta look it up. There's a lot I don't know about Shining Pearl because I never bothered to look it up. I only got look it up if I got really curious. Is someone told me that if you use attack from 2 space away, it doesn't matter with which weapon, is that you have a lower chance to hit the enemy. And considering I've played this game a lot, I believe that was true, because Hans, back when I used him, or any archer like that, has a higher chance to miss. But if an archer could attack from 1 space away, I wonder how often it would be he would miss. That character would miss that. So, there is that. And by the way, that screenshot, I saw Arthur level 13, he said he had 60 attack. So, I don't know if that was a true screenshot or not, but I'm going to take it as fact, because back then it was harder to... Then again, it could be a modern day thing, fake something like that. I don't understand why someone would fake something like that, just to prove a point. So I just took out that Silver Knight with 1 shot. So in order to beat this encounter here, we have to beat, I believe it is... I want to say it's all the enemies. There's nothing around here to grab, unlike most maps. So I want to try to take out, like, I want to say you have to kill this artillery because he's blocking the door, or this Hellhound in order to win. But I'm going to try to, like, beat all the enemies if I can, because obviously the experience is very well necessary. Like I said, I never used Arthur before. It's interesting to see a character go from no MP to having MP to getting a spell. A lot of people say they like Arthur because of that, and I gotta agree, like, it's kind of interesting. Like, they really thought about this when they did this, because they could have made Arthur another knight. But it seems like they kind of ran out of ideas what to do with some characters. So they're like, okay, we're gonna give Arthur the ability to use spells, which I think is really kind of cool. I like the idea of that. I like the idea of multi-classes. Like, Arthur might not be the greatest at everything, but I like the fact he can use spells. Eventually use spells. Arthur did 13. And gains 8 experience points. The only good thing about him only learning Blaze, Bolt, and Freeze is they only cost, I think Bolt costs 8 MP to use, Blaze costs 2, and Freeze costs 3. So it's not like you have to, I'm gonna take out the Dark Priest here too. It's not like you have to, it's not like you have to have a lot of MP in order to use the spells themselves. And that goes for everything. Like, I want to try this at some point, but I want to be a little more confident with this game. I want to play a playthrough of this, where I play with no weapons. It sounds crazy when you think about it, but I think it can still be done, because we have items, other stuff besides like that, besides the power ring and all that. By the way, you just saw Diane Tech way. That was pretty cool. Because it makes me think that would be difficult, but not impossible. Because if you grind enough, like I said, you could possibly do it. I think promoting would be the hardest part though, because if your character relies on attack and then you promote and you lose attack, it means that you'd have to deal with a bunch of other things. But with the power ring, I missed one shot there. I get 1 experience point for hitting him. That means the Dark Priests are basically becoming irrelevant. Also, they mentioned after you hit so many, he's a shield ring. You hit so many levels. I think they said after level 40, you start getting like 1 point increases. Remember, I told you characters were kind of getting stats really high. Apparently, after level 40, they just diminish to almost nothing. So it's either said 20 or 30. I'm not gonna look it up again. I spent way too much time looking shit up this stream. So Dark Priest's gonna do 2 damage. Surprised me on that one. Does he have a wooden staff? I thought he only had a wooden. Does he have a power staff? Oh, he has a power staff. Okay, interesting. So Arthur said the best way to get experience for Arthur is to first of all, the power spear is really good for him. Arthur gains 2 experience points for beating him. That's a massive amount of experience. Is to basically snipe people with spells, and I can understand why they say that, because it's really easy to do. That's one of the best ways to level up a mage. So, alright, so we're going to cast freeze level 1 on this knight. I was going to cast 2, but I forgot that Domingo does not have that. 9 points of damage on the Silver Knight. Domingo gets 27. Okay, Domingo grew to level 40, or level 4. Defense increased by 4, so there's a 4-point increase. Speed increased by 4, and freeze became level 2. So there's a good jump there that you normally wouldn't see 2 4s in one level with a non-promoted character. There are instances I had Tau in my other playthrough get a 5-point increase to MP, which is crazy, unpromoted, but it's not impossible. I don't have this proof to put that into perspective, but just have to take my word for it on that. All right, we're gonna deal with this Silver Knight here. The being able to take Thracians away is kind of crazy. I don't think they needed to put extra spaces on an archer, but that's still pretty cool. They get 14 experience points, 75 coins. Pow. Whereas I'll move up here and we're gonna attack this Dark Priest probably for 13 like last time. Like I said, if he didn't have the shield ring, I'd probably one-shot him. That'll get them measly 1 experience point. Alright, we're gonna use Gort's actual heat axe here. That's gonna let us cast Blaze level 2. Which is going to kill the Dark Priest and slightly damage the Cerberus, because Cerberus has a fire element, so it's not going to do much to him. We're getting 17 experience points. We're going to get 125 coins. So I think you have to kill either one of them, because the Hound is not moving. So it might be either one of the enemies to end this battle. When the damage to the Hellhound, Arthur gains 27 experience points. Domingo's level 4, so we're going to move over here. We're going to have Anri come here, and I'm going to use freeze level 2, so you guys can see how different it is compared to the other one. You can see the pearls just kind of get bigger, and it does more damage. Because this is an ice element, it actually does more damage to this Hellhound than it should. Anri gets 40 experience by 200 points. So is that the end of the battle? It is not. So I have to go kill the artillery now. So maybe you have to kill all the enemies. Maybe they just block a path. Actually, I don't think those doors even open until after you beat the level, come to think of it. So I gotta move everyone back down there now. The artillery's staying put, so... I think we can one-shot this artillery with max, but I'm not really sure. Maybe 12 damage. Nope, we can one-shot it. 15 points of damage on the artillery. Artillery is defeated. 40 experience, 180 coins. Max level increased to 4. Max level increased by... There's a big increase right there again. 7, that's really good for our hero. Speed increased by 8, that's even crazier. Max hit points increased by 2. Cool. So that's the battle. That was very easy. But now we can move on. So now we're in a place called Urbatol, I believe. We're going to look around. Down here is where the Shiny Force gathers. So, there is that. That means Max has a massive amount of defense now. Yeah, he has 19 defense. I don't think that's as high as Maze, but it's pretty close. Oh, there's a Rude Knight here. Don't hurt me, I give up. But also like it weighs you in the Tarm Harbor. Excuse me. I was like the Bellworm, don't let him get away. It's up here. Another Rude Knight. I surrender. I just can't fight anymore. Rules have it that you're invincible. Well, I mean, he's not, like, completely wrong. I mean, I've been slapping around you guys for, at this point, days. I hope he's not in trouble. So this is a item and weapon shop. No, this is just an item shop. I thought it was. I always wondered if, like, is there a way to get those chests, but I don't think you can. It'd be kind of cool if you could. I'll be honest with you. All right, what's going on up here? This goes... Oh, Ernest. Man, it took a lot on me. I'm glad to see you, Max. Let me join you. Ernest joins the Shining Force. Use the rest. I'm going back to your headquarters. See you later. Okay, I think I skipped a cutscene here. Accidentally. I didn't. I thought I did. You killed almost living monsters, brute. I want to say it's reused dialogue. Okay, I think I did skip something here, so... Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of a different thing. Anyway, we can take a look at Ernest now that we have him on our group. I heard Ernest is really good too, but I'm going to use him some other time. Ernest has 21 attack, 12 defense, 7 move, and 12 agility, which isn't bad, but he's still a knight, so he could get better. I think there's a weapon shop around here as well, but I could be wrong. Nope, there's a priest here, though. Power of light shines through you, Max. Always try to be worthy of it. So in this next battle, we're going to see a few new enemies, including Bulbazak, which is essentially just a guy who thinks he's better than everybody else. No, we're not doing that. I want to make sure everyone's alright, so we're going to hit Cure. I think no one died in that, but I don't think barely anyone even took any damage. Alright, so we're going to save. Ow! So I think once we eat Bulbazak, we end up actually beating this chapter. So we're also see some cruelty after the battle, but that's besides that. I think I drink water. I talk way too much sometimes, and it makes my throat dry. We're to our journey. We're not gonna. We don't need any more help. So once we go in here, we can essentially go and go to the next battle. I want to say there's a chest in here somewhere, but I don't know if that's true or not. Did I go up this staircase already? I did. Okay. I might be thinking of a different spot in the game. By the way, there are like 9 chapters in this game, so I think we're only like halfway done. So we're gonna talk to this Rune Knight over here. Egoise and Bulbazak. He's one nasty fighter. For Ernest friend, you'll be okay. I'll open the door for you. Alright, so we're gonna step in here and we got our next battle. Let's beat Max. Soon you and your misfits will trouble us no longer. As Bulbazak, commander of Runefist army, you must destroy him. Alright, so I said new enemies, I kind of over-exaggerate a little bit. For example, I don't know why this mannequin is here. Or the evil puppet. On top of that, I don't think he's supposed to have a weapon. But Sororian has a power staff and a shield ring. I'm pretty sure the other ones don't have that. We have a newish enemy called a sea bat. This is basically the upgrade version of a bat. It means they're just annoying. They have more HP, so they have no level. They have 22 HP, no MP, no magic, no experience, no items, and they have 20 attack, 14 defense, 7 move, and 14 agility. I don't think there's anything else really here to say on that. We already looked at the Cerberus. And then we have Bulbazak. He has a steel sword equipped. He has no level. He has 65 MP, no HP, no MP, 0 MP, 0 experience, no magic, 34 attack, 18 defense, 5 movement, 20 agility. So just to give you a general idea on how high defense is, that's actually only slightly lower than Max's new. I think that's actually... No, actually May has less than that. So May is normally our tank. That's kind of interesting to see how much defense that sumbitch has. It's actually higher than Pell is actually pretty good on that. Alright, so we're going to move on. So what's going to happen in this situation, I've done this battle many times. These sea bats are all going to come like a sumbitch for us. So when we move up, these artillery are going to move forward, and this mage is going to stay back here in order to heal. So our first order of business should be to deal with the sea bats. So we're going to move our mages over here. I'm going to let them come to us. I'm going to move Max right here. The Mingo is going to come over here-ish. Have low, stay. Here come the sea bats. So sea bats are going to have quite a bit of damage. I want to say they're going to do a few damage to Max. They did 1. Probably because of Max's massive now 19 defense. So now that they're on top of us, we're going to use a regular free spell on the Sea-Bat in order to do some damage to it. 8 points damage to the Sea-Bat, and regain 17 experience points. May can attack from this angle, so we're going to have her attack the Sea-Bat as well. That's going to, if it connects, should bring it down to very low HP, 8 damage, so it does about as much as Andrew's free spell does. Yeah, if you go stretching forward, they will swarm you like really quickly, so we have to be careful about that. Also, these Sea-Bats have the ability to put you to sleep like the other ones do, like the regular bats do, so you have to be careful about that as well. So I knew that Max was going to be targeted, that's why I left him there, because he has high enough defense to survive quite a few of attacks. So I'm basically putting him there as a decoy. The Sea-Bats have no other attacks. They have the ability to hit a crit, but I still don't see that him killing me in 2 or 3 shots. Of course, they're going after Pell now. I think Pell's going to take... Well, Pell has 20, so that should take 1, yeah. So the hardest thing about the bats, or just any variation of the bats, is just the agility. So the Tories are going to move in front of the Silver Knights, and they're going to stay there. So move too far ahead, and you're going to have a bit of a problem. However, now that they line up like this, we actually can deal some higher-end damage with the mages. 10 points of damage on the Sea-Bat. 40 experience, 350 coins. See if I got too much closer. The artillery can move. Okay, the Silver Knights are actually coming for us, which I didn't consider a possibility. But the Silver Knights are basically an annoyance at this point, rather than an actual threat. As long as the artilleries don't advance, we're fine. So we're going to move Gong up here, and we're going to attack this Silver Knight. Gong attacks. 10 damage. 6 experience points. Oh, they're actually advancing. Is this different from... It must be because Max moved. I'm going to guess that's the reason they're attacking now. So I'm getting swarmed regardless, but my characters are so high level and their defense is so high that it doesn't really seem to matter for them. Alright, we're going to use the Heat Axe again, since we have the ability to hit 3 at the same time. So this might cause the Heat Axe to put up a notification. I haven't had it happen yet, but it's happened several times in other playthroughs I've ever played of this. So this is going to do a good amount of damage to everyone. Is it going to say something about it? Surprisingly, no. Sometimes, so what's going to happen is sometimes the item you're using like that, we use it as an item, like a power ring, the speed ring, whatever. It'll say the item cracked, or there's smoke rises from it. And then if it happens again, it'll say it blew up in flames. When it's cracked, it means that you can repair it for 250 gold. When it bursts in flames, it means the item is gone. So you got to be very careful you don't ever let that happen. Because if you lose the item in question, it means you'll never be able to get it back. At least I think that's how that works. I'm not 100% sure because you might be able to get it back later in the game. But a lot of like those kinds of items usually just like a one-time grab. I have heard one instance of it returning later in like the deal section of a place, but I think it takes a few chapters for that to happen. It doesn't seem like it's worth it half the time. So we got Max here, Max level 4. I'm just gonna have him stay there, just so he can like continue being the decoy. We're gonna move. I don't want to get too close to those things, but I can hit 3 of these enemies here with Blaze level 3. I don't think it's gonna be enough to put the Hellhound on because of the fire element. Nope, I was wrong. It wouldn't even do deadly on that one. So 18. I think I take out all 3 of them actually. I think Gore already hit all 3 of them with the Heat Axe. Yep. That should get Tau enough experience to level up, I would think. 40 experience, 350 coins. Nope, not quite, but I did take all 3 of them out. Move Domingo on the side here. We're gonna have low move. We shouldn't have moved up too much because I'm afraid of those artilleries being able to hit him. We're gonna leave him there. Henry's gonna move over here. We're gonna cast Freeze level 2. I hesitated for a second there on these bats. That'll hit them both for about 10 damage each. Did 11 the other one. Henry gains 45 experience points. Henry's level increased to 4. That's level increased by 7. That's crazy for a mage. If he increases by 2, and hit points increased by 1. Okay, so no magic increase, but the defense increases. Oh, okay. Now they're just going after Max. I guess they found an opportunity to do so. That's going to do how much? 3, okay. But the artillery moving there did leave itself wide open. I think they're all going to go after him now. So Max is really good bait as long as he can survive attacks. Sea-Bats are going to keep going. The only thing I'm worried about with the Sea-Bats is they might put Max to sleep. which obviously could cause a problem down the line because it takes. I've had sleep going for like several turns, a lot of turns actually, and it's more annoying. It's very annoying actually, especially if you're trying to level your characters or a character. 8 damage to the Seabat, 40 experience, 350 coins. Max means level increased to 4. Attack level increased by 2. Defense level increased by 1. Speed increased by 3. Maximum hit points increased by 7. Seems like 7's a really good number for a lot of these characters to hit. So now we're going to move Xylo here and we're going to attack this artillery. Looks 9 points damage on the artillery. 15 experience points. Here comes the other bats. We're going after. Nope, I'm surprised it went after. I'm surprised they go after Max. We're going after Arthur instead. Wow. Alright, I forgot how weak Arthur is in the defense stat. But we can move Gong right here, use heal level 1 on Seabat. Or not on Arthur to heal for all his HP that he just lost. 16 experience per Gong. Diane's going to move up here, and we're going to take out this artillery here. This also puts Diane in the danger zone for the artillery, but I think they'll target Max before they target Diane. 9 points damage, 32 experience, 180 coins. Maybe they're still after Max. So I've got to watch to make sure they don't get too many hits on him. So I probably should heal him if he gets hit again, because he only heals about 13 damage, or 13 HP. So we're going to move Pell here, and we're going to take out the artillery. The artillery are stronger than the Seabats are. They get attacked from farther away, so they're definitely a priority over the Seabats. 48 experience, 180 coins. Pell's level increased to 4. Attack level increased by 1. Defense level increased by 2. Maximum points increased by 4. So that was a smaller increase, but still pretty good for 3 stats. We're going to move Gore up here, and we're going to take out this artillery. And you're going to see that that heat axe is crazy good. Assuming that it hits. Apparently the artillery can move very quickly, which is weird. Alright, the Seabats are still going after Arthur. 9. They could hit him for 2, that would be very bad. That bat could have gone after Gong, but the AI in this game is not exactly very good. Alright, so we're going to have Arthur move here. We're going to go after this artillery for probably 10. 9, okay. Nope. Technically 19 because he got 2 shots at 47 experience, 180 coins. Pow. Max is going to stay right there. Tao is going to move here, and we're going to cast Blaze level 1 on this bat. There's no point in casting anything higher because we need to save a little bit of Tao's MP, and there's nothing surrounding him, so it seems like a waste of magic half the time. 15 experience for a Tao. Domingo's going to move up, but stay kind of like back there. And Rigor, first we're going to leave her on standby. Nothing in this game now is too dangerous. And we're going to have... we're actually going to have Low move here. This is a very bad idea for a couple reasons, but we need to heal Arthur. There's only low 10 experience points, 14 actually. Leave May there. We're going after me again, or Max again, for 1 damage. I like how the priest should be going out around there doing something, he's just kind of standing there. Xylo attacks. Inflicts 10 points of damage on the Seabat. 21 experience points. Hell's level force, I'm going to leave him there. Gar is going to come over here and I might have him do a regular attack on this Seabat, because this Seabat has a decent amount of HP remaining. And there's the big damage right there. There's 18 points of damage in the Seabat. 40 experience, 350 coins. Court level increased to 4. Attack level increased by 1. Defense level increased by 2. Speed increased by 6. Okay, that's pretty good for a unit like him. We're going to have Gong attack the Seabat, which is probably going to miss, but we're going to try it anyway. Nope. He actually... And 13 damage for a deadly attack. 40 experience, 350 coins. Move Diane here. We're actually going to move slightly closer to this side. Probably like right here, so she can take the Seabat and get some experience from it. So I'm going to need to either lower Gong to heal Max real quick, and then I think we're just fine to keep going. 40 experience, some odd coins. Defense level increased to 4. Defense level increased by 2. Speed increased by 3. Maximum hit points increased by 2. Let Arthur go after this Dark Priest. By the way, I will say that having a knight being able to head to a space is just overpowered, depending on... There's just a lot of weapons in this game that can let you move 2 spaces, or attack 2 spaces away. And for a knight, that's kind of overpowered. Considering that knight usually has a lot of defense. We're going to move low right here. We're going to cast heal level 1 on Max, and that's going to almost fully heal him, if not fully heal him. Yep, fully heal him for 13. Low gains 11 experience points. May's still fine, even though she has lower HP. We're going to move her forward. Tao's going to use Blaze level 1 on this Priest. By the way, if you're smart enough and you're at the Priest and you're not high enough level, you actually could farm Priest for experience by basically essentially hurting them to the point where they need to heal, have them heal, and then just do it again. It'd be a very slow strategy, though. I don't recommend that when you can just redo battles, essentially, as long as you know when to stop. Zao attacks. And the Dark Priest is dead. That's going to give me very little experience points, though. Zao gained 3 experience points, 125 points. But his level did increase to 4. Attack level increased by 1. Defense level increases by 4. Speed increases by 4. Pretty good. Gourd up. So when I go to fight the boss, I'm not worrying about levels anymore, because Bulbasac can be dangerous. He only can attack 1 space away, but he's still dangerous. Especially with his massive attack stat. Arthur's going to attack this Hellhound for like 7. Nope, 10. Alright. Nope, he's going to actually attack twice. Arthur gained 14 experience points, 200 coins. Arthur will increase to 4. Attack will increase by 1. Defense will increase by 2. Match points increase by 1. So what I got to deal with is the Puppet now, and then Bulbasac. Luckily, since they're lined up that way, I could cast a few spells on them to inflict damage to both of them. The Puppet can't attack from 2 spaces away, so I got to be careful about that, and it has higher attack with the Power Staff equipped, but there is that. I think what happened with the Puppet, though, is, considering it has the Shield Ring and the Power Staff, I don't think it had a staff before. It has heal level 1. I think that was meant to be another Dark Priest, but they forgot, they screwed up the model. Because its weapon, its power, its magic, and everything seem to line up with a Dark Priest. Alright. Now we're going to have Zio move here. Zio should be able to do quite a bit of damage to the Puppet, I would think, even with a Shield Ring equipped. Yeah, 12. Zio gains a measly 1 experience point for it, though. We're going to move Pell right here, and we're going to actually attack Bulbasac, see how much damage we can do with it. Oh, I guess none, because he just avoided it. And with Arthur here, we're going to finish off the Evil Puppet, which is going to give him very minor experience points. Yeah, 1 experience point, 100 coins. Move Tao here. Bulbasac will not move from that spot, by the way, because he's kind of like glued to it, because he's guarding the ship. So you're going to see here that we're going to cause less damage to him with this. It's because boss have a natural resistance to magic as well as usually a very high defense. So you're going to see that a lot. So we got to be careful here, but we can still deal damage to him, but we got to be careful. Because he'll heal, just like most bosses do, over a certain amount of turns. So 9 damage, another 9 to Bulbasac. That's going to give him Zylo 6 experience points. Anri here. Anri's going to cast... We don't need to worry about MP much anymore, so we're going to cast Freeze level 2 instead of level 1. It's going to do like 7 damage to him. Maybe even less. Yep. Anri gains 5 experience points. Move May to that spot there. I'm going to have Gort move up because Gort has the Blaze, the Heat Axe, so he should be able to do a good amount of damage. Yep, 16. I thought so. 11 experience for Gort. Still going to try to have a little 3 knock him out, but don't know if I can pull that off or not. How high is Gong's defense? 13. What was that? Has how much attack? 34. So that would do all Gong's HP decides to go after him. Let's not try that. Alright, so Bulbazac's going to attack. We're going to see how strong he is. He's probably going to one-shot Gort. Nope, 14. So does the HP jump up again? Nope, it's still the same. We can't get Diane close enough to hit him. But we can move Pell over here to deal damage to him. It's going to do like 9. Nope, 14. Forgot how kind of crazy Pell is. We're going to have Arthur move here. We're going to deal some damage to Bulbasac with the spear, but I don't think it's going to be enough to put him down. Or, well, it's definitely not going to be enough to put him down now, because we did do enough damage. Tao only has enough MP to do a Blaze level 1, but we can still do the damage to him with this. So we're going to use it. 5 damage. Tao gets 3 experience points. Domingo casts Freeze level 2. We can lower his HP a little bit more. Another 7. 5 experience points earned. Of course, should be able to put him down now, I would think, as long as the attack connects. Yep. 18 experience to Bulbasac. Bulbasac's defeated. 40 experience, 520 points. Max, you please spare my life, please. So if you say no, you don't want to kill me, please let me go. No. Yeah, he'll just keep saying this over and over until you say yes. Thank you. Take the chip and go after Darskull. Unfortunately, Darskull was listening. Bulbasac, you betrayed me. No, please. No, please, Darskull, please leave me in peace. Disgust me, Bulbasac. Leave you in peace, I'll leave you in pieces. Forgive me. Too late, Worm. Receive your punishment for failure. I'm dying, Max. You must kill Darskull. Free Runefust. Take the ship as the fool said. You will not survive the voyage. Ha ha ha. Thus did the Shining Force free Orbital and set sail for the land of legend. Chapter 4, The Great Fortress of Bulbasac, completed. We're moving to Chapter 5. It's going to ask if we want to save, and we actually have more time left than I thought we would, so we're going to keep going. Chapter 5, Gateway to the Hidden Shrine. After a week at sea, Sentry spotted a horde of monsters approaching the ship. So we have several of these battles where the attack actually takes place on a ship, which is actually a lot bigger than it seems, but ship's surrounded by monster max. We must prefer to defend it. See, these are monsters you're going to see not a lot of, but there are new enemies here that we can look at. So you can see we have some Pegasus Knights. We can see a Seabat. However, we see a few enemies we normally don't see. But I'll go over them. There's also some enemies that appear mid-battle, and they're going to make a habit out of doing that too. But this is called... These are meant to be sea creatures. This is called a conch. It is no level, has 21 HP, no MP, no experience, no magic, no item. Attack is 20, defense 15, move is 6, and agility is 16. So this enemy, and I'm going to show you the other one too, that's new. This one's called Shellfish. This one's basically the same, but it has a bit better stats. A no level, 25 HP, no MP, no experience, no magic, no item, 23 attack, 16 defense, 6 move, and 23 agility. So both that and the conch can actually inflict poison, which at this point in the game really isn't that big of a thing, but it still can, if it stacks on top of everything else, they will think. But there are some enemies that appear around this area that we have to deal with, but it's not that bad. So, we have to level up some of our characters. I'm probably going to spend the rest of the stream doing that, leveling everyone to 4, everyone else to 4. So we move down here, we're going to have these Shellfish and conches start coming after us. The Pegasus Knight will come after whoever is here, I think. So we're going to have them all start coming after us now. The worst part is just trying to stop their poison from coming through, which is not as easy as it sounds. Because obviously the longer the battle goes on, if we don't heal them, the more damage they take. By the way, I'm going to mention this too. It doesn't matter how much HP you have. A poison effect will always cap at 2. So it doesn't matter. It's not a percentage-based attack. It's fixed. Kind of like how Blaze magic is, or how most magic is. But unlike poison, they can't inflict a critical hit to an ally or to an enemy, but a spell technically can. I've seen it happen several times. I think actually it happened during the stream as well. Alright. Kind of crazy. I'm looking at the category. It says Shining Force is a puzzle RPG strategy game. I don't consider this a puzzle game. Yes, it is kind of like I would call it more strategy than a puzzle. And I have no idea why they have both listed, but I don't consider this a puzzle game. I think there's very few puzzles you actually have to do. There are some things you have to figure out, but I wouldn't consider them puzzle. It's kind of good as a puzzle heavy, because I'm not good with puzzle heavy games. So we're going to attack the conch. We're just trying to level it, so we're going to hit him with the highest spell we got. Which is 13 damage. Talon gains 19 experience points. Tails level increases to 4. He increases by 10. Maximum force increased by 1. Maximum force increased by 1. Having a 10-point increase, having a double-digit increase, that's crazy. That means how high is Tao's speed now? 30. That's crazy. I think that's higher than anything we've encountered so far. Yeah, even his doesn't even compare to it. I mean, Tao's not going to get hit very often. And the only two we have to level up now are Gong and Lo, which now that they're high enough level, they can actually deal their own damage, so I'm not worried about that. Of course, they will get more experience if they heal, rather than... Or the healing's more effective for experience, but having the heal on standby is really good, too. So this is going to do, like, no damage. May, yeah. Actually, seeing May with 33 HP is kind of crazy when you think about it. Alright, they're going to attack Lo now. So they attack, I think they're supposed to attack with like a... Yeah, they attack with like a spike. It's hard to tell what that is. I don't know if that was part of the tentacle or what happened here, but it definitely looked like part of the tentacle. So now that we can't actually hit this thing, we're just going to use heal level 2 to attack to come to his face away and heal Lo for the damage he just took. Since Gong can't get close enough to attack that conch. Gong gains 10 experience points. So I think Lo and Gong are pretty close to leveling up, I would think, but maybe I'm wrong. Gong is 80 and Lo is 95. Okay, so we're actually not that far away at all. So I think once I level them both up to level 4, I think I'm just going to save and end the stream, because I'm not going to have enough time to go through this entire battle. Because this battle seems like there's a lot of enemies in it. Like I said, when some appear, if you don't know where they're appearing, they can be a bit of a problem, but I think like 8 or 9 more enemies appear this way. And one of them is an enemy we've never seen before. And it has one spell that it'll use constantly, but the spell has a very small chance to hit, so I'm not worried about that. Also, we can also retreat to wherever. There is a ladder in the ship that you can see, a staircase. We go there, we basically have a priest there, and we also have the ability to change our characters or do whatever with them. So, Pixel Knight attacks. Max up for 1 point of damage because they're still absolute shit, even though they probably could give them power spears to make them even stronger. We're going to stay there. Tao is already level 4, so we're going to have him move away. Have Max stay, or have everyone else stay where they're at. With Domingo up here, maybe they'll attack him instead. Lo should have enough, they should get low enough experience to, yeah, that's gonna give him, he only needs 5 experience, so 36 experience, 230 coins, level increased to 4. Speed increased by 10, so there's another massive 10 increase. Which is good for the healers because they need to be able to avoid attacks and or heal better. So I would say probably the best 2 stats for a healer, best 3 stats, is going to be HP, MP, and agility. So now I need to level up Gong. He needs 20 more experience in order to level up. Yeah, I was hoping they'd go after Domingo. Domingo actually has quite a bit of defense itself, even though it's a mage. It seems like... And by the way, I don't know what the priority list is, but I think the highest priority is always Max, but they seem to really like to go after the mages and healers too. So Domingo actually could be useful. Like I could, if I could hack him in, I could see Domingo. Like I could see me soloing the entire game with just Domingo. Can I heal anybody in this situation? I can heal Tao for 1 HP. It's going to give Kong enough experience, quite a decent amount of experience, even for just 1 HP. It's going to be like 10 HP or 10 experience. Yeah. So all he needs to do is heal one more character, and he'll have enough experience to level up. You're like going after Max. Come on. I think I'm gonna move Max up here just so Gunk can heal him to get the last experience he needs. As far as the other conches aren't moving. Or the shellfish isn't moving yet. Maybe it's waiting for me to get further up. I think the AI in this game is like good and bad at the same time, which is weird. But I've seen a lot of games that are like that. Like they're good in some aspects, but kind of weird in other aspects. See, that's still going after Max, even though he moved away. Still doing a massive 1 damage. That one's still going for Domingo. There's gone. So now we can heal Max and get the last This is we need in order to end the stream. So there is another 10, at least 10 right there to get going to level up. I'm level increased to 4. I just saw something jump into this thing, so it's got to be some good stuff. Deck increased by 1. Maximum hit points increased by 6. Maximum hit points increased by 4. That's really good. Gong News doesn't get a lot of HP or MPs. That's good. Now we just gotta wait for Max's turn. No, we're not attacking. We either aggress, or we can go down the staircase in order to escape the battle. Alright, so we have enough. We have the ability to actually get to the staircase. We're gonna go down the staircase. So this just leads down to where we can go to get the characters. You can see they also changed the interior to make it look like a ship, which I thought was kind of cool. I don't know if you can examine this or not, but it's cool. You can just see that it's a ship. So now if we come here, we can, I want to make sure no one's poisoned. No, okay. I don't think anyone needs to be revived either. Yeah, okay. So, I think that's going to do it for this stream. Thank everyone for watching. Ugh. Yep, that was my hands cracking. My hands cracked, like, really badly. This is the Pokemon, or that streamer 1993 signing off. I'll see you guys in the next stream. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.